Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Ondo coin. Ladies and gentlemen, you know me, I have high expectations for this coin. I truly do believe it is going to overtake a lot of coins and it is going to surprise a lot of people. For me, when I hear JP Morgan, BlackRock, and the things they want to do with this project, I am all for it, right? I am all for it. And I know also another rule, the house never loses, okay? The house never loses. Not only that, it is American, which is also a new narrative, right? Anything to do with America, in America, it's just that little bonus because we know Mr. Orange Man has been really pro crypto. So the states have been very pro crypto. So I expect this coin, just even based off that, to do very well. But let's dive into the technical analysis. We can see that we have formed some kind of bottoms recently, and man, oh man, let me tell you, we sniped this in the Discord, called it out, right? Called it out. Ondo buy limit triggered on the 5th of June, and then we can see the 5th of June was over here, right? Because we entered into a very specific zone that I was looking to be buying. And we can see, right? The reason why I personally entered here was because boom, resistance or support, head and shoulders type vibes. And guess what? Head and shoulders type vibes into this order block. So we had 3 different confirmations that we're going to go down to this zone. So we sniped it. We called it out. Orders got triggered. We're chilling. We are chilling, easy as that. Now I expect Ondo to start pumping, mainly because Bitcoin for me is bullish and I expect Bitcoin to pump to all-time highs sooner than later. This week, I expect Bitcoin to do very well. If we look at Bitcoin for just a second, we can see that we already have a huge Monday candle. We went from 105,000, let's say 500, all the way up to 108,000, roughly 500. So we went up $3,000 already in just a few hours. And I expect to hit all-time highs, and if not, even break all-time highs and get to around 120K by mid-June, right? By mid-June, which is only roughly a week away. So I expect very big pumps with this coin. And to be honest, it is giving me these types of vibes, right? When we're over here and then we expanded, right? Now, why am I mentioning this when I'm talking about Ondo? Well, because Bitcoin is the head of this snake. And when Bitcoin goes, everything else goes, okay? So yeah, look, not only that, but also on Ondo, ladies and gentlemen, we do also have another reverse head and shoulders. We can see, right? We go like here, shoulder, head, shoulder, right? Very nice. And I do expect very nice pumps to the upside, at least quickly to 94 cents, because we do have a lot of imbalance on the side. And imbalance is practically when there's no real support or resistance. But overall, I do think we are going to start overclaiming some of these highs that we've had recently. We could also see in terms of extra confirmation that we have been closing very weak in terms of selling pressure right over here, right? This is a huge zone where there's a lot of weekly candles, very weak selling pressure. And I expect Ondo to overclaim these highs, these next 3 targets over the next few short weeks of 97 cents, of $1.05, and then of course of $1.13 to 14 cents. Let's just say 13 cents, right? So I expect all of this to be claimed very soon. The next like relevant big target for me, if we're not looking too much on the micro level, is going to this monthly order block, right? This is where I could see a little bit of a sell-off, but just so we can accumulate further, right? Going back up to $1.35 to $1.40 is where we could definitely see some type of resistance. And even then, yeah, when we go on the weekly, there's a lot of resistance over here, okay? So I do expect this coin to come up to here, probably slow down. But here's the thing, right? If we do just burst past this, which is what I would want to see, and we start accumulating, then it's going to look very good, because accumulation means we're holding, we're ready for another burst. And once we go burst to the upside, then we're going to look to pretty much, contest these all-time highs. Okay. Now, once we go up to here, most likely we will have a liquidity sweep first, a little bit of fake out, then again, something similar before we start bursting to the upside very, very aggressively. Now, how high can this token go, right? How well can Ondo do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think Ondo can do very, very well this cycle. It is currently at 2.6 billion market cap, closer to 2.7. So let's just say 85 cents is 2.7 billion, right? Even if we were to 10x, that would be $8.50 at 27 billion market cap, which would be a 10x from just this current position, which I believe is more than doable for this token. In fact, I feel like this is one of those tokens that could potentially peak, right? Peak, not necessarily stay very long, but peak at that 70, 80, 60 billion market cap zone. For me, this is one of those tokens I find in the 35 to 45 billion market cap range personally. So I do actually expect a little bit more than a 10x from here. In fact, I probably expect it to go to roughly $10 to $12, which would be that 35 to 45 billion market cap zone. I have very, very high expectations for this coin. Like I said, JP Morgan and BlackRock, you do not, lose when you're on their side. We can also see that the total value locked for Ondo has tripled over the past year, driven primarily by growth on Ethereum and Solana. So we can see, right? We can see this is very, very good. This is what we love to see, right? When tokens get locked, they get used, to better the coin. They also create, kind of, I don't explain it. They just create a net positive for the coin, right? It's a net positive. So it's very, very nice. It's very, very nice. I do expect, yes, explosive 5 times rally. Yeah, I think definitely 10 times is going to be on my list personally, right? Got to remember when altcoin season does start happening, ladies and gentlemen, that once we start pumping, right? Because Bitcoin dominance will drop to the ground. Once this starts dropping to the ground, these coins are going to pump super, super heavy like no one ever expects. So for me, $10 is my conservative price target for this coin, this altcoin season. I could see it potentially going up to $20 or $25 if we do have way more money than expected. And if, of course, things just blow up way more, which obviously I can't dictate that, but we could always readjust our plan, because if Ondo just starts pumping very aggressively and it already hits $10 and we know there's still going to be a couple weeks left of a pump, then there's no reason to sell. But of course, we need more data for that. And of course, we'll update you in the future. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys did enjoy. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.
Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should've, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets.